Alright, so any of you that have bought the LEGO Technic Land Rover Defender have probably enjoyed this quite a bit. I often buy Legos just to put on display. You can see I just got the Porsche as well, it's in the background there. And this one even has me playing with it just a little bit. Love the working suspension, love the winch, love the gearbox, everything about this. However, many of you will know that there is have probably had an issue with some cracking coming from just about there, from the gears, especially in higher gears such as fourth gear. Racingbrick has an excellent video on a different problem-solving methods you can try to fix the problem. However, it does not cover every scenario. So I'm going to be talking about my experiences and my ways of fixing real quick and how you can do it without taking the entire car apart. You can do it just directly from the outside. So the first main thing is if it is in fourth gear and it cracks when it goes forward, but it does not crack when it goes backwards. Take a look at your differentials down here. Make sure the larger parts are both facing the passenger side of the car. Now originally I had them facing the driver's side of the car. These large gears are on this side, and that puts a specific rotational stress on the gearbox, which has less stress if you have it facing this way. So that's the first thing you can do. It's fairly easy to do it. From the bottom, you take tweezers, you push, there's axle rods here, you push those out. I'm not actually going to do it at the moment for sake of time, but you push these out, and then once you, well, for take the wheel off anyway. Once you push those out, you can push this out right here, take that off, and then you can simply pull that out. Do the same on the other side, and you pull this little rod right there out, and then that frees up the differential, and you take that off, and you can simply switch it around and put everything back on fairly easily. The front's just a little more complicated because you have two of these brown axles, but it's, for the most part, it's the same. You just have to make sure that you keep track of your parts. But it's, again, for the most part, it's pretty much the exact same scenario as the front. Now, once you've done that, you can also, while you're down here, by the way, check your U-joints. That's something Racingbrick went over, but you just want to make sure that they're on the same way. So right there, where that bar is that way, you want to make sure the end of that bar is the exact same. And you can actually do that from the outside. He opens up the whole thing. You can do it from the outside. You can check the bottoms here, and you can check the tops fairly easily through the side doors. Now the easiest way to get access to all of this is to simply remove the chairs, bend the head down of the chair, bend the head down like that, pull forwards first till you hear a click, and then up, and this should just pull it straight out just like that. You have good access to that, and you can just push on it with your fingernails just like that. Make sure they're all together, make sure, look at them, make sure they're the right way, and if not, I would just switch this side. This side's a lot easier to switch than that side. And the last thing you want to check, which has caused me problems, is just make sure all of these gears in here, all these axles are pushed through. Some of these axles will push through a little bit. You just want to push them back through. Make sure these are attached as much as possible. Same thing goes for that side. You just push it on, and just sometimes the axles right here will come out, and you just want to push them in. Because the cracking kind of jolts stuff around here. And then the very last thing, and this is the thing that has saved me from most cracking. Actually, two more things. You want to make sure this is pushed down. That little piece right there, right behind that. Make sure that's pushed down, and on the bottom, I'll break the door here. On the bottom, that little red axle right there is the one that connects it. You want to make sure that's pushed in while that's pushed down all the way. So that way it's down all the way, and that keeps that gear from putting extra stress. And then the last thing is you'll feel both sides, this gray bar on both sides, and you'll simply reach in there and push them together and make sure they're pushed all the way together. And that is the very last thing that will save you from cracking that I did not see Racingbrick go over. After that, this thing has worked great. When I push it forwards, I actually have had no cracking at all, even when I push it forwards very quickly, when it's in high and in 4 and in drive, which is where I got the most cracking in the past. So just make sure everything's connected properly, everything's tight, make sure the U-joints are in the correct orientation, and make sure that the larger side of your differentials are facing the passenger side, and you should be good. Thank you for watching.